Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom adorned with majestic castles and flourishing meadows, there lived a noble king. This kingdom was not only known for its breathtaking landscapes, but also for the harmony and prosperity that flourished under the king's rule. Known for his wisdom and fairness, the king was admired by his people. He would often walk among them, listening to their concerns and offering sage advice. His presence brought comfort and assurance to all. One day, while on a royal procession through his lands, the king stumbled upon an unusual sight: a young beggar-maid, clothed in rags, yet possessing an air of quiet dignity. Her eyes, though weary, held a spark of resilience that caught the king's attention. Intrigued by her presence amidst the throngs of well-dressed citizens, the king couldn't help but inquire about her. He wondered how someone so destitute could carry herself with such grace and poise. The guards informed him that she was known for her kind heart and gentle spirit, often sharing her meager belongings with those less fortunate. Despite her own hardships, she never hesitated to help others in need. The king, deeply moved by her selflessness, decided to approach her. He saw in her a rare quality, a nobility of spirit that transcended her humble appearance. As he got down from his carriage, the crowd watched in awe, wondering what the king would do next. The king spoke to her with kindness and respect, asking about her life and how she came to be in such a state. The beggar-maid, though initially surprised, shared her story with humility. She had lost her family and home to a tragic fire and had been living on the streets ever since. As she spoke, the king listened intently, his heart going out to her. He realized that her strength and compassion were a testament to her character, and he felt a deep sense of responsibility to help her. The king offered her a place in the palace, where she could live with dignity and continue her acts of kindness. The beggar-maid, overwhelmed with gratitude, accepted his offer. From that day on, she became a cherished member of the royal household, her story inspiring all who heard it. The king, adorned in his finest robes and jewels, stood in stark contrast to the humble beggar-maid. His majestic presence, however, did not intimidate the young woman. She looked upon him with the same respect and composure she offered everyone. This intrigued the king even more. The king, accustomed to flattery and deference, found himself drawn to the beggar-maid's simple honesty. He engaged her in conversation, discovering a sharp mind and a compassionate heart beneath her humble exterior. He realized that true worth stemmed not from outward appearances but from the virtues one possessed. The kingdom, though prosperous, was not without its share of vanity and pride. The streets were filled with merchants and traders, their stalls brimming with goods from distant lands. The townsfolk, dressed in their finest garments, paraded through the market, their noses held high. Among them, the noble courtiers, draped in luxurious fabrics, looked disdainfully at the less fortunate, their eyes filled with contempt. The king observed that many of his courtiers were more concerned with appearances and social standing than with genuine kindness and empathy. In the grand halls of the royal court, whispers of judgment echoed as courtiers evaluated each other based on their attire and social rank. The king, seated on his throne, watched with a heavy heart as the true essence of nobility seemed lost amidst the glittering facade. He longed to instill in them the same humility and compassion he saw in the beggar-maid. One day, while walking through the market in disguise, the king witnessed a humble beggar-maid sharing her meager meal with a stray dog. This simple act of kindness struck a chord within him. He realized that true nobility was not about wealth or status, but about the goodness of one's heart. The king, inspired by the beggar-maid's example, resolved to teach his people a valuable lesson. He spent many nights in deep thought, contemplating how to bring about this change. Finally, he decided to address his courtiers, his voice filled with determination. He spoke of the beggar-maid's kindness and the true meaning of nobility, urging them to look beyond appearances and embrace compassion. He believed that her presence in his life was a blessing, an opportunity to demonstrate that true nobility lay not in wealth or status, but in the content of one's character. The king invited the beggar-maid to the palace, treating her with the respect and honor she deserved. He made a public announcement with the beggar-maid by his side, declaring that from that day forward, the kingdom would value kindness and humility above all else. The king's message resonated throughout the land, inspiring a new era of compassion and understanding. Determined to share the profound impact the beggar-maid had on him, the king decided to make her his queen. This unexpected announcement sent ripples of shock and confusion throughout the kingdom. The courtiers could not fathom why their noble king would choose a simple beggar-maid as his bride. The king, unfazed by their disapproval, knew that true love valued the essence of a person above all else. He recognized the beggar-maid's inner strength and admired her humility, qualities he believed were far more precious than any earthly riches. Section 5, A Test of Character, Love Beyond Appearances. The king's decision to marry the beggar-maid was a test, not for her, but for his people. He wanted them to understand that true love transcended social barriers. He longed for them to see the inherent worth of a person, unblinded by superficial judgments. The beggar-maid, thrust into the limelight, remained unchanged. She treated everyone with the same kindness and respect, regardless of their social standing. Her grace and humility shone through, slowly chipping away at the preconceived notions of the court. The beggar-maid, now queen, used her position to spread kindness and compassion. She championed the cause of the less fortunate, reminding everyone that true happiness lay in helping others. Her wisdom and empathy resonated with the people, gradually transforming the kingdom's values. The king observed with pride as his people began to embrace humility and kindness. The beggar-maid's influence extended beyond the court, reaching the far corners of the kingdom, planting seeds of compassion in the hearts of all who crossed her path. The king's decision, initially met with resistance, proved to be a stroke of genius. The people, witnessing the queen's genuine warmth and humility, realized the depth of her character. They began to admire her for her compassion and wisdom, recognizing the true meaning of nobility. The queen's influence subtly shifted the kingdom's focus from outward appearances to inner qualities. People started valuing kindness, empathy, and humility, recognizing that true worth stemmed from these virtues, not from social standing or material possessions. The tale of the king and the beggar-maid became a cherished legend, passed down through generations. It served as a constant reminder that true nobility resided in one's character, not in their social standing. The kingdom, once consumed by vanity and pride, transformed into a land where kindness and compassion flourished. The king's unconventional choice led to an unexpected but beautiful transformation. By choosing humility over pride, he not only found a queen worthy of his love, but also guided his kingdom towards a brighter, more compassionate future. The story of the king and the beggar-maid holds a timeless message, reminding us that true worth lies not in outward appearances. This tale, passed down through generations, speaks to the heart of human experience. It tells of a king, adorned in royal garments, who falls in love with a humble beggar-maid. Despite their stark differences in social status, their love transcends the superficial barriers that society often imposes. But in the content of one's character, it teaches us to look beyond social constructs and see the beauty in every soul. The king, with all his wealth and power, recognizes the purity and goodness in the beggar-maid's heart. This recognition is a powerful reminder that our true value is not determined by our external circumstances but by our inner virtues, and recognize the inherent dignity in every individual, regardless of their social standing or material possessions. This enchanting tale continues to inspire generations, urging us to embrace humility, practice kindness, and foster a sense of community. It challenges us to break down the walls of prejudice and to build bridges of understanding and compassion, and value the intrinsic worth of every human being. In a world often obsessed with superficiality, the story of the king and the beggar-maid serves as a beacon of hope. It reminds us that true beauty lies within, and that genuine connections are forged through empathy and respect. The tale encourages us to look beyond the surface and to appreciate the depth and richness of the human spirit, reminding us that true love and lasting change stem from the depths of our hearts, not from the heights of our social standing. The king and the beggar-maid's love story is a testament to the power of seeing beyond the obvious and valuing the essence of a person. It is a call to action for all of us to nurture our inner qualities and to recognize the same in others, not from the heights of our social standing. As we navigate our own lives, let us carry forward the lessons from this timeless story. Let us strive to see the world through the lens of compassion and to honor the inherent worth of every individual we encounter. In doing so, we can create a more just and loving